Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Just Another 20-something with me, Marissa. How are we all doing today? I am very excited because today we are going to be talking about The Bachelorette. And I know that I said I was probably going to do like bonus episodes of this, but let's be real. The summertime is freaking busy. I am busy. I'm a busy lady. I am working. I am playing. I am doing all the things. And so I don't have time. I do not have time to make this a bonus episode. I'm making this a real episode. So sorry, everyone who doesn't watch The Bachelorette. But this is what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm really excited because I'm not going to lie to you. I am really digging this season. So far, like we're only 5 episodes in. It's a little juicy. It's a little bit juicy. I like a lot of the guys, which I feel like is surprising. I mean, last season had a good amount of guys, but this season, oh my gosh, good guy after good guy. It's insane. And like, I don't hate Katie. I mean, she's definitely not like my favorite Bachelorette. No offense. I just can't get over Tayshia. I love Tayshia. First of all, she's an amazing host. Second of all, she was an excellent Bachelorette, and she's just stunning. Every single outfit that she steps out in, I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, she was made for television. But Katie is not too bad either. She's really sweet. She's cute. We definitely don't have the same type of guy, like, she's into different guys than I would be into, but that's okay. It's her journey. But yeah, so let's just dive right into it. We have tons to talk about because there has been 5 episodes since we last chatted. So I'm just going to dive right on in. So we last left off, after that first night, we were just meeting all the guys. And our boy Greg got the first impression rose. And if you listen to the first episode, me and Gabby were very hesitant about Greg. And the main reason we're hesitant about Greg is honestly because the chatty broads are hesitant about Greg. And I trust whatever they have to say. So if they are hesitant, I am too hesitant. I obviously don't know any tea really about Greg, other than I guess like his big main thing is that he's gone to acting school, like a very prestigious acting school that he has not really talked to Katie about, or we haven't seen anyway. And so, that's interesting. It's just an interesting little tidbit about Greg. Other than that, I mean, I don't really know. To be completely honest, he's just kind of boring to me. Like, he's cute. Don't get me wrong. He's definitely cute. He seems nice, but like, there's just not a lot of personality oozing from Greg. I mean, one, his name is Greg. It's not really a spicy name, Like, he's very white. And I guess that's what's boring about him. I don't know. He's just not really giving me anything. Like, everyone all over social media is like, oh my God, Greg. And I don't really get it. But anyway, so he got the first impression rose. Clearly Katie is into him. And then he gets the first one-on-one. And their date is pretty good. I mean, they kind of do some fishing. They're like out in the wild. It's actually really pretty because I think they're in New Mexico, I want to say. And so they're like surrounded by all these mountains. And it was a very pretty location. They were wearing like similar outfits. It was very cute. And when they were talking, like Katie opened up to him, about her losing her father. And then we later learned that I think he lost his father too. Was that what it was? Ugh, I can't remember now. I think it was something like that. Oh no, I don't know anything about Greg. Oh well. It's because he's so boring. They somehow connected. I think it was either like maybe his parents got divorced or something. I honestly can't tell you, but there was something connecting the two of them. She, I know, lost her dad. I think he lost his dad too. Like, I think he lost his dad like recently or something. So they bonded over that, which good for them. And I will say, you know, if it's not him just acting, he is very in touch with his emotions. He's not afraid to cry, and we will see that later in the episodes. So that's good. I mean, great for Greg. I don't know. He's there in my eyes. He's not a terrible guy. He's not one of my favorites. So, but Katie definitely likes him. She, week after week, I will talk about it. She's very into Greg. She is heart eyes about Greg. So Greg is one to keep a lookout for. So then they also have their first group date. So the first group date, I can't remember which guys were on it, but this group date had to deal with basically who was the best lover out of all the guys. And as we know, Katie is a sex positive queen. I'm just going to say it right now. It's not that I'm not about that she's sex positive. Of course, great, amazing. But like, they literally bring that up every single episode. Every single episode, they're like, now Katie's really sex positive and whoop-de-doo-doo. And I just, like, why is that her thing? Like, it's just so boring. Like, I don't even think she's really like, I mean, yeah, maybe she's sex positive, but I think she's honestly just like, yeah, I like feel comfortable having sex. So there it is. Like, that's all it is. Shouldn't everyone like be on that level somewhere, somehow? Like, I don't know. I feel like they're acting like she's so, like, she's just doing the most, but it's like they literally just gave her that title because she brought a vibrator on Matt's season. And it's like, yeah, newsflash, a lot of women use those. Like, are we going to say that about every single woman, that we're super sex positive? When it's like, maybe she just likes a vibrator and she's like kind of funny. I don't know. Anyway, so of course, throughout, again, I will talk about it because we have many weeks to go through. They talk about how Katie is sex positive pretty much every single episode. So don't worry, you're not going to miss that Katie's sex positive. I don't know if you know, but she is. So anyway, so their first date is basically the guys have to prove who is the best lover. And on this date, we have Mike P, who is a 30-year-old virgin, which is fine. It is for religious reasons, whatever. Honestly, to each their own. If you want to be a virgin until you get married, cool, go you. If you don't want to be if you don't want to be a virgin until you're married, also cool. Literally live your life. Honestly, no one cares. That's my MO, is just like, who cares? Who cares? Like, you can say it. I guess it's part of your journey, but also no one cares. But anyway, so Mike P's freaking out because he's like, they're asking all these like, what's your favorite position? You know, in sex. What's your favorite sex position? And they're literally like writing on like a little whiteboard. And, you know, people are like, missionary, reverse cowgirl, the wheelbarrow, which, sir, no. And so he doesn't know what to write, which I was literally yelling this at the TV with my mom watching. I was like, just say missionary. That's the easiest one. Everyone knows it. But he decides to write a question mark because I guess that's better. I mean, I guess he didn't lie because he doesn't know what his favorite position is. But yeah, so he started writing a lot of question marks, was being very vague, whatever. And so one of their biggest tasks during this group date was they kind of had to like, I guess, kind of perform for her. When I say perform, I don't mean sexually. They had to perform like a little skit or like a little doodad or whatever. Everyone did something different. Like, I think his name's Connor. Connor, the cat guy who dressed up as a cat the first night. Let me first just go off by saying, I don't think I like this guy. And it's not that he's a bad person, because he's fine. He's great. He's nice, whatever. He is so unbelievably cringy, though. I can't help myself from cringing every single time that he is on my screen. The way he kisses Katie is weird. He like goes too much into it, and she's like so not about it. And then also he's been wearing these like really deep V-neck shirts. It's almost just like a button down, but he's leaving all the buttons open, and I'm just like, what are we doing here, actually? Anyway, not super about that, but moving on. He did like a little song for Katie, because he's also really into singing. That kind of adds on to his cringiness, but whatever. So he did that. Then some other guys definitely did like some jokes. Trey, I'm pretty sure, did like a puppet show, which is a little weird. Again, this was weeks ago. I'm just giving you the bullet points. So anyway, Mike P brings Katie up on the stage and is like, hey, like I think he like wrote a letter to his future wife, basically being like, yo, I'm a virgin. Hope you don't mind that I'm probably gonna be very fast. I mean, that's basically what he said. He was like, there's a lot of build up here, so sorry. So sorry, my dear. But she actually really liked it. I think she cried. Katie gets very cry-y a lot in these episodes, which is fine. You know, go her. Be in touch with your emotions. That's great. But yeah, so we find out, you know, Mike P is a religious virgin. So it'll be interesting to see how him and Katie, the sex-positive queen, really get along. But I don't know. He sticks around. I think he ends up getting that rose that night. I actually can't remember, but I think he does. So she likes him, and she likes what he's putting down. So that's good. Another person who was on that date was Carl. And I don't know if you guys remember me talking about Carl in the first episode, but I was like, yeah, Carl seems very like, you know, enthusiastic, maybe charming. He's the motivational speaker. Well, on this date, he like, I guess, I don't know what he was trying to do, but I guess he was trying to like do one of his motivational speaker things to try and like convince Katie he was the best lover. And he was very into this. Like, he was like, I am going to win this challenge. Like, I'm going to win it. I'm going to win it. And it's like, dude, like, calm down. That's not the point of this fucking show, to win a random challenge. Like, here to get to know Katie. Doesn't matter what you do during the day. It's just like weird dates anyway. But anyway, he like fucks up the challenge really bad. He has like a million clipboards. I don't know what he's even talking about. Justin in the back. Oh my gosh, arcane Justin. He is honestly one of the funniest ones, just because of his facial expressions. Throughout every episode, he's making a different facial expression. Basically of disgust. It's so funny. And he was so sick of Carl. He was like, Carl, STFU, what are we doing? Stop it. So anyway, Carl's starting to be a little annoying, and people are starting to realize, oh, this guy is like, he's a lot. He's a talker, he's competitive, he's a little bit much. We don't know how into him we really are. So that's laying the groundwork down for what Carl is going to do next. So the second group date, then we have this group date where a lot of the guys go mud wrestling. Woohoo! I don't really know why they do this. Honestly, most of these dates are pretty stupid, but mostly what came out of this date is Cody and Aaron, which first I'm going to say, Cody was the one who brought in the blow-up doll, and so I'm like, ew. Glad he's in some drama, because I would love to see him leave. And then Aaron, who I think I mentioned Aaron. Aaron looks exactly like this guy from college, who I had a class with. In fact, I had a group project with this guy. I'm not going to say his name, obviously, but to anyone who's listening, if you remember Germ, that was our nickname for him. Germ, this is the guy. Aaron is Germ. I will say, though, I actually like Aaron. And I didn't really like Germ, as you can probably suspect from me and my friends calling him Germ. But Aaron is like a twin of this guy. Their mannerisms are the freaking same. They get angry a lot. But the thing that I like about Aaron is that he's just kind of funny. Germ wasn't very funny. Aaron, throughout these episodes, will just kind of always pick someone to hate, and then he's like, I hate him. I hate him. I want him out. And it's just kind of funny. Like, he's funny. He's a good person, I feel like. But anyway, so apparently, if you remember also me talking about this in the first episode, Cody and Aaron were fighting that first night. And Aaron was like, dude, I freaking hate you. I will never like you. Bye, guy. And everyone was just like, I remember watching that episode being like, whoa, did we freaking miss something? Like, why do these guys already hate each other? Like, we're so confused. Well, it comes out in this episode because Cody and Aaron have to fight each other. They have to wrestle each other. And it seems like, before everyone's kind of playing, having a good time. These two, for sure, full brawling. They were taking this very, very seriously. And so everyone was like, oh, okay, there's some beef between these guys. And so Aaron wins the whole challenge and ends up having extra time with Katie that night. And so she, is talking to Aaron and she's like, okay, what the hell was that, dude? Like, why did you literally want to rip his head off? And Aaron's like, oh, yeah, I know Cody. We're from the same hometown and I really don't like him. I think he's shady. I don't think he's here for the right reasons. And so Katie's like, oh, I see. Interesting. Like, this is her first little spout of drama. Who's here for not the right reasons? It's Cody. And so later, I think at the cocktail party I think it's the cocktail party. She pulls Cody aside and tries to talk to him. I mean, of course, like in these situations, it's kind of fucked because it's like, what are you supposed to do? Hey, Cody, are you actually a bad guy? Why would Cody be like, yeah, I actually suck and I'm here for not the right fucking reasons. Send me home right now. It's like, no. Of course he was like, Aaron's actually the bad guy and I should stay. But lucky for Aaron, he got there first. And so Katie got rid of Cody that night. And honestly, I was fine with it because, again, I didn't really like him. Just because of the blow-up doll thing. I don't know. Kind of gross. So she sends Cody home. And that kind of sets the tone for the night. Like, Katie means business. If you're not here for the right reasons, get the freak out. Well, for some reason, this sparks a little fire under Carl's ass, where he decides to stir the pot a little bit. He's like, oh, we can get rid of guys just that easy? Sweet. I'm going to say, there's a ton of guys here for not the right reasons. Maybe like 5, I don't know. So he literally goes to Katie and is like, so, not only is Cody a bad guy, but there's some other guys here, I think, not for the right reasons. And she's like, oh my God, like who? And he's like, oh, I don't want to name names. She's like, no, you literally have to tell me. Like, dude, you can't just tell me there's guys here for not the right reasons and then not tell me who they are. And he's like, well, I don't want to, stir the pot or anything. And she's like, well, you are. You literally are stirring the pot by telling me this. And he's like, no. So he's being super stupid. He's literally just coming up with all these excuses not to tell her who those people are because he just doesn't fucking have anyone in mind. He is just like, let's just hope for the best that someone isn't here for the right reasons and that she will choose me. That completely blows up in his face because Katie storms back into the room and it's like, yo, someone just told me that there are more people here not for the right reasons. So I'm fucking pissed. I'm ending the rose ceremony. I'm gonna go cry. Y'all figure this out. And everyone's like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, who told her something? And Carl immediately is like, so I actually ended up telling her that there are bad people here. And everyone's like, literally, why, my guy? Why? And again, they were like, okay, tell us. Because he was like, first he's saying, there's multiple guys. Then he just goes, well, there's really there's one person. And they know who they are. And everyone's like, okay, just tell us who it is. Like, let us know who this guy is so we can all get him out. And he's like, no, I'm not really gonna say anything. So then everyone's like, you suck. Like, you're literally planting this in Katie's head for no reason. You don't have any backup. You're the worst. And so everyone pretty much gains up on Carl. And that's the end of week 2. Pretty crazy. Obviously, jump straight into week 3. We get right into it, right back in that rose ceremony. And Carl's freaking out because he's like, fuck. All these guys are mad at me. I don't know what to do. Everyone's like, yeah, you fucking suck. So all of the guys end up talking, creating this union. They're like, hey, we need to get Carl out because we all feel like we're fine, right? Like, we're fine. So they all decide that no one is there for the wrong reasons except for Carl. Carl is the troublemaker. So, they go to the rose ceremony and they send sweet little Mike P, our little virgin man. Literally, Katie is going through the rose ceremony. Like, she was like, I don't want to talk to you bitches. So she starts like, calling people for roses. And so she calls up Mike. Mike gets a rose and he's like, by the way, all of us guys think Carl is actually the one here, not for the right reasons. And you should probably get rid of him. Because we all don't fucking like him anymore. So, and of course, she's going to listen to Mike. Because, again, sweet, simple, virgin Mike. Why would she not listen to him? And so she's like, wait, do all of you guys feel this way? Like, all of you don't think Carl should be here. And literally, every single guy in that room starts nodding their head. They're like, yeah, yep, I stand by that. And she's like, well, fuck. Because what the hell are you supposed to do in that situation? Like, literally this one guy is making an ass of himself, but you don't know if he's lying. But then all of the guys, all of them, every single one of them is like, no, get rid of him. So she does end up getting rid of Carl, which, good move, because that would have been really weird if you kept him. I don't think the guys would be very pleased with that decision. So Carl says sayonara. Actually, he doesn't say anything. He leaves. He leaves without saying goodbye to Katie. Just straight up walks out the door, and doesn't say anything to her, which I feel like was a little rude, considering like you kind of just fucked yourself over. Like, this isn't Katie's fault. Like, you're a dumbass, but whatever. So look at that, villain gone, right? Anyway, so we go into the next group date. This group date, I don't really know how to feel about it, to be honest. It was kind of weird. In some aspects, I get it, but in some, I'm like, I would hate to be in this situation. I don't like talking about personal things, personally. I actually get very uncomfortable, especially in a huge group of people. Basically, they form this. They look like they're in an AA meeting. Like, they're all in a circle, spotlights on every one of them, dark ass room. Nick Viall is there, which, bitch, I hate that guy. I do not like Nick Viall. If you know about Nick, he has been on Andy's season of The Bachelorette, Caitlyn's season of The Bachelorette. He then was The Bachelor. He was also on Bachelor in Paradise. He has a podcast. He's very annoying. He thinks very highly of himself and thinks he's probably the smartest man in Bachelor Nation, which, no. Anyway, so he shows up to conduct this basic secrets convention thing where they kind of just all go in a circle and talk about, I don't know, the hardest thing they've ever gone through, or maybe not even, yeah, maybe a mistake that they have made, something that they've done that's really affected them. I don't know. Everyone's stories were a little different. First we have Hunter, who, broke my heart. Hunter was telling us his story about how he basically just fucked up his marriage and relationship with his kids for a while. It seems like everything now is fine, but in the moment, he prioritized his work over his family and basically never was around, treated them like shit, and they ended up getting divorced. And so, yeah, he was like, I regret that every day of my life. Like, that's not something I should have done. He's sobbing. Everyone's sobbing. Then we hear from Connor B, cat guy. His story, when he was telling it, I was so freaking nervous. I literally thought he was going to say that he killed someone. Just the way he was amping this up. Like, he was talking about how when he was younger, he started to drink a lot. And when he drank a lot, he started to get really angry. And he started to get really angry with his girlfriend. And I was like, oh my God, he killed her. He killed her. He's going to admit to killing her right now. Or like, I guess, like beating her. Either one. Terrible. He ended up just cheating on her, which not that that's great either, but holy crap, so much better than what I thought it was going to be. His amp up was too much. But sad. So he was really sad, and he was like, that was terrible. And so he like has to watch his like drinking or whatever. And, so people are going through like all of their really sad stories. And then we get to Thomas, who I haven't talked about much really at all, just because I didn't really know how much he had an impact on Katie until really this episode. But I guess Katie was really into Thomas. And Thomas has not had a one-on-one. He's only been on group dates. He's very tall, this very tall, big, I think he's like Latino or Mexican or something, like very handsome, suave guy. And he basically goes on to say that his intentions for coming on The Bachelor were not pure. He was like, this is a great opportunity to build my platform. And then I just found love along the way. And I don't know about you, but that's just so not comparable to like what the other guys talked about. And granted, I didn't hear every single one of the guys' stories, but like most of these guys are crying. Like they're upset from this huge thing that has happened. Where Thomas is kind of smiling, being like, yeah, I came on here because I wanted to grow my platform and it seemed like a good opportunity. And then you ended up being hot. So now I like you. That's kind of the vibes that I was getting from this. And I'm not the only one who got those vibes. Guess who else got those vibes? My boy Aaron. Aaron immediately was like, what the hell is this? Who is this man? What is going on? Not about it. So all the guys are feeling a little weird after that. Katie also shares her story of a sexual assault that she was a part of many years ago. And so she really opened up as well, which all the guys were super sweet about. And just in that later, because they talked, they had their night portion of the night. Everyone was just very sweet towards Katie and very appreciative that she even shared that, because obviously that is not something that she needs to share at all. But yeah, so a very emotional day, like very emotionally exhausting for everyone involved. So again, doesn't sound like a super fun date idea to me, but I'm not the one who picks the dates, so whatever. But yeah, so everyone's getting a little interested about Thomas. They kind of don't really get what's going on. And even Katie is like talking to him. She's like, okay, like, because I guess another thing that he said, he was like, I have a list of red flags. Just ask me what they are and I'll freaking tell you. And she's like, okay, so, when you said that you had a list of red flags, I would love to know about them, like right now. Which, by the freaking way, why would you ever say, hey, I have so many red flags? Do you want to know them? Like, yeah, dude. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell, but yeah. Yeah, I super want to know all the thousands of red flags that you apparently have. Let's discuss those. Thanks. Anyway, so everyone's getting freaked out about Thomas because they're like, this guy just seems like he knows exactly what to say. Like, he has the talk. He has the banta. He knows what he's doing. And everyone's getting a little fishy about him. Like, not just Aaron, it's starting to be more the guys. But anyway, so that date ends. And then we move on to our one-on-one with Michael A., who is one of my personal favorite guys in the freaking house. Do I think him and Katie are going to end up together? No. But there's a reason for this. So Michael A. is a single dad, and we learn that his wife actually died in 2019 from breast cancer, and that was the first girl that he had ever been with. They were college sweethearts. They have a son. I think he's like 4 or 5. And it's just like, it's such a beautiful story. And poor Michael, he's just like the sweetest guy ever. Like, everyone in the house adores and loves him. He literally always has a smile on his freaking face. He's so positive. And after having gone through that, like losing your wife, which, by the way, every time he mentions her, he always is like, oh yeah, my wife. Like, my wife's did this and my wife did that. And I'm like, oh, this is freaking emo. This is emo. But he is just so sweet. And he told, Katie his story. And Katie was just like, you're freaking amazing. Please let me give you this rose. And she was also really sweet because she was like, I want you to know, like, the roses that I give to you are, like, not only for you, but also for your son. Like, I take them very seriously. Like, I don't want to waste your time. And she was really into him after that date. Like, she was like, I can imagine, like, the life with Michael, and he would be an amazing husband. Like, the love we would have would be incredible, which I think is facts. Like I said, do I think they're going to end up together? Probably not. Just because I think, like, in the moment, of course, Katie's going to be like, yeah. But I think later she's going to be like, oh. But he, seriously, whoever he marries in the future, which I'm sure he will, he's going to be, like, the best husband in the history of the world. So, shout out to Michael A. You are number one in my heart. You are one of my favorites. And yeah, that's kind of where the episode ends. I mean, very shortly, I think, like, after that, they still, like, go into some more Thomas shit, which basically leads up to week 4, which is all of what that episode was Thomas. So all of the guys are starting to discuss Thomas's real intentions in the house. They're like, you are very shady. I don't think I like you. And he's like, what do you mean? And everyone's like, you manipulate Katie with the way you talk to her. And he's like, what? But he totally is. I mean, he's definitely one of those people who just, like, knows exactly what to say and when to say it. Like, he's a master manipulator. Sorry about it. He is. And so the guys are getting concerned. Obviously, they want the best for Katie, which, bless up. And they don't want Katie to get hurt. Fair. So they kind of all get Thomas into a room. It's very weird, but they all gather him around. And they're like, bro, we need to talk about your intentions. Because on that date, you were very sus. And he was like, okay, like, ask me some questions. And so they kind of blatantly ask him, like, have you ever wanted to be the Bachelor? And he's like, yeah, actually, I do. Like, when I first went onto the show, I wanted to maybe become the Bachelor. And they were all like, okay, cool. That's not great to hear. And then they, so the guys are pissed about this. You know, they're like, okay, so you came on the show to become the Bachelor. That's not amazing. And so they, you know, they're very upset by this. Then, you know, the second group date happens. And Thomas isn't on this group date. Obviously, he was on the first one. And so it's like the rest of the guys, they're going on this group date. Their group date is like one of those contest things where you have to, like, run around and do all these random activities. And it's just stupid. Point blank, it's a stupid date. It's pretty much exactly like, it's a very similar date to what happened on Tayshia's season, where, like, they, like, eat a huge amount of food, and then they, like, run around, and they have to, like, say sexy things to a microphone where all the girls are secretly listening. And they literally have, like, at the end, you're supposed to eat this hot pepper and then do a proposal, which was exactly what happened in Tayshia's season. So it's like, why do we keep doing this? It's not even that fun of a date. Like, I don't get it. But they do that. So I'm like, cool. Anyway. So when it comes to the night portion of the date, you know, the guys are still talking about Thomas. And they are kind of going back and forth on whether they should talk to Katie about Thomas or not. And one of the huge advocates for this is Trey. And I really like Trey. Like, Trey's a really cute, nice guy. But he is a little intense to where he's like, I have to protect Katie. Like, we can't have this guy who wants to be the Bachelor running around when Katie, you know, could get hurt. And, like, I have to protect her as a man and she's a woman. And I'm like, Katie is fine. Like, she'll figure it out. Like, she's not stupid. Like, this is also her thing to do. Like, don't waste your time talking about another guy. Or, like, if you're gonna talk about it, like, I don't know, just make it, like, brief. Like, the other thing about this is like, Thomas did technically already tell her this. Like, Thomas already on that date said, I came in here, like, you know, looking to build my platform, which is pretty much saying, like, yeah, I want to be the Bachelor. Like, that's not very far. And if you're really going to believe that every single person who's gone on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette has gone there for the right reasons and has never thought about fame and has never thought about the opportunities, like, duh. Why do you think the show is getting more and more popular? Because more and more people are getting rich from it. Like, hello, it's so obvious. So Andrew S., who I love this man. He is, again, another one of my top favorite men. He's amazing. He is the one who did, like, the fake British accent, which he kind of does do a lot, which is, like, a little bit annoying. But I guess I also can't complain because sometimes I do that on my own time. Don't ask about it. But Andrew S. completely was like, Katie told us to trust her. Like, Katie is a grown woman. She will figure it out. Focus on your time with Katie. Like, don't bring another guy into this. Like, it's just too complicated. It's going to cause a lot of drama. Let's just not do it. But unfortunately, everyone, like, almost every guy is against Andrew in this decision. They're like, no, we have to tell Katie. He's like, fine, you know, like, whatever, you're going to do whatever you want. And so Trey ends up telling Katie, like, you know, Thomas said this. He seems untrustworthy, very manipulative, blah, blah, blah. And Katie actually ends up giving Trey the group date rose. And so everyone, you know, from that is like, oh, Katie obviously does really appreciate when you tell her these things. Maybe we should do this moving forward. And I think, like, Andrew was, I think, taken by surprise because he was like, wasn't expecting that, which I don't blame him because I wasn't expecting that either. Like, I think if I was the Bachelorette, I would not want to hear about guys talking about other guys all the freaking time. Like, being like, you can't trust him, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get it. I understand, like, in this scenario, yeah, Thomas said something pretty fucking stupid. I guess I would want to know that. But at the same time, then it's like, you guys, like, they don't get a lot of time with The Bachelorette. It's actually, like, a minuscule amount of time. It's almost illegal. Like, you should not be engaged with how much little time you really get with the lead. Like, it makes no sense. So it's like, you're going to spend the 5 minutes, because I'm literally telling you, I think they get either 5 or 10 minutes of talking before, like, someone else swoops in. So you're going to spend the 5 minutes you have with that person to talk about someone else. That just seems stupid. And then she doesn't really get to know you. I mean, yeah, she gets some maybe viable information, but then what happens to you, my guy? Like, what if he didn't get the rose? What if Trey also goes home because she's like, well, I don't really know him. Like, all he did was talk about this other guy. Like, that's fucking stupid. So, anyway, apparently Katie really liked it, though, and gave Trey the rose. So Trey is safe. But while this is all going on, all the guys are freaking out about Thomas. Another man has shown up. A man that we all know and that some might not like and that some may super love. But Blake is back, baby. Blake from Claire and Tayshia's season. It's actually really interesting because my personal opinion of Blake, I didn't really like him on Tayshia's season, like, at all. Like, really at all. Like, he was the one who bought a book for Claire to, like, learn about her, like, parents who have Alzheimer's, which I guess it's, like, kind of nice. Now I'm thinking about it, and now I'm like, okay, that is sweet, I guess. But he did that, like, before he even met her. I don't know. So he was the one who was on Claire and Tayshia's season. I don't even actually remember what he did with Tayshia. Like, I don't remember the relationship, like, at all. I just remember, like, Blake wasn't one of my faves. And he obviously got eliminated. Like, he didn't get to the Final Four or anything. He's probably, like, top 6. I can't even remember. But, I mean, overall, Blake's actually, like, a nice guy. He seems like a sweet dude. And I guess Blake has a little crushy poo on Katie. And I'm not gonna lie, when these two met up, because Tayshia's like, someone wants to meet you, and Katie's like, who? And they meet up. There were some sparks. I mean, she was like giddy seeing Blake. She was very into seeing him. And Blake was obviously very into seeing her. That's the whole reason he came on the show. And Katie basically has a decision, like, should I let Blake join the rest of the guys, or should I, send him packing? Like, I don't want the guys to be upset. So she has to decide whether to keep Blake in or not. Which, if you guys have even seen the promos, we all kind of know what happens. But we'll save that. So then, finally, we go back to the guys. Rose ceremony time. All the guys are like, hey, get Thomas out. Like, basically forming another union who, guess who it's led by? Aaron. My boy Aaron. Well, Aaron and Trey and Hunter all were very upset with Thomas's behavior. So they all kind of did this. But yeah, they were basically like, okay, we got to get Thomas out. We did it with Carl. Let's do it with Thomas. And guess what? It works again. Literally, I don't know if Katie has her own opinion, but she got rid of Thomas and she kind of snapped back. Like, she got him to freaking leave. Like, she was like, your mission to be the next Bachelor is freaking over. Get the fuck out. Bye. And he's gone. Thomas is gone. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. Like, Thomas definitely seemed like a shady dude, but I don't know. Like, I just don't think it was really worth them to form a union to get him gone. Also, same with Carl. I mean, let's be honest. All these guys are freaking stupid. Katie, if she's smart enough, will learn that they are stupid and get rid of him on her own accord. Like, I don't think she needs the guys' help to do this. And so that's, again, why I love Andrew S. so much, because he's like, guys, this is a lot. Anyway, so that's the end of the rose ceremony. She then goes to Blake's room at the end of the night and is like, hey, I want you to join the house. And he's like, fuck yeah, dude. And so Blake will be arriving. And that leads us into week 5, Monday's episode. I'm so excited. This was a good freaking episode. So, Blake enters the house. Blake is in. And I love Blake. He's so much different when he's with Katie than he was when he was with Tayshia. Like, Blake and Tayshia, absolutely not. No way. But Blake and Katie, I can see it. The vibes. Everything was flowing from them. Anyway, so Blake comes into the house. He immediately is like, hey guys, like, listen, like, I know that you don't want me here. Like, I get it. I completely understand. Like, on his season, new guys came in at the same time. So, like, he truly knows what these guys are feeling. Like, he's like, I've freaking been there. But trust me when I say, like, I'm here for Katie. That's all I want. I'm not going to bother you. You know, I'm just gonna do my thing. And in walks in the date card for the evening. And guess what? It is for Blake. So immediately, the guys are like, who the fuck is this? Oh, he's getting a one-on-one? Oh, are you freaking kidding me? The thing about this situation, which happens on pretty much every season of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, when a person from the past, you know, from past seasons comes in, everyone gets fucking jealous, and everyone always gets mad at the person who's coming in, which never makes sense to me. Like, of course you can be like, crap, like, there's another person, it's more competition, like, duh. But it's like, if anything, that means you gotta step up your personal game. Like, you gotta try and win the heart now. Like, if that's what you want, time to work harder, because clearly this guy who she doesn't fucking know, she's already seen potential with, and she's letting him in, like, week 5. So it's like, yeah, maybe your connection isn't that fucking strong. And that's literally basically what this means when people get let in, like, you know, from the past, or like let in mid-season. Because like with Matt's season, Heather showed up. That was freaking awkward. But he didn't let her in because he's like, yeah, I have way too big of connections with these girls, and I don't know you, so no. Whereas with Katie, you know, she's still in the beginning of the journey. She doesn't really know all the guys that well, and Blake's really fucking hot. So she's like, yeah, come on in. So anyway, Blake and Katie go on their one-on-one. They're riding horses together. Really cute. Again, they are just vibing. They're like, the way that they talk to each other, you could tell that they just really genuinely like each other and like talking. And then we get some snippets of them kissing. And oh my God, they were kissing so hard. They were like rolling around in hay, to where hay is all over them, like literally all in their hair, all over their clothes, all freaking over the place. Hay. So that's fun for them. They really, really got into it. So yeah, like, they were vibing. Then they have their, you know, evening portion of the date, and Blake wanted to ask, like, you know, what made you so sex positive? And, you know, she goes back into her story about her sexual assault experience, and he responds really great, just basically being like, I don't want you to feel like not safe with me, because I guess I forgot about this, but I think Blake is also very sex positive. Like, I think he talked about sex a lot on Claire and Tayshia's season. Like, that was something that he was very into, which, I mean, who isn't, but whatever. So yeah, so he was like, I want you to feel safe with me. And she's like, I appreciate that. And then, you know, then they listened to some unknown country artist and danced just the two of them like they do on every season ever. But I'm not going to lie to you. I am not going to lie to you. If that was my date, like if I got to slow dance with a cute boy while some unknown country singer was singing to us, I'd be into it. I'd be sort of in love with that scenario. I think a private concert is cute. I don't see why people always think it's not cute. I think it's cute. Who wouldn't want to be serenaded privately? I mean, like, yeah, you know, when you make out with them and then they're like right there, that's like a little bit awkward, but it's not that bad. Like, it's fine. Whatever. I would freaking love that date. Anyway, so Blake obviously gets the rose. Everyone loves Blake. Moving on. We then have the group date. So the way that it's now set up, like which week we're on, is that there's like 2 2 one-on-ones and 1 group date. So everyone gets a date, which is nice. So on the group date, it was all the guys except for Andrew S. So I'll get into Andrew S.'s one-on-one later. And this group date was very odd. They basically were playing like this weird form of basketball. Like it was like rugby basketball. Like they were allowed to tackle each other. And they weren't dribbling because they were on grass. But then they were shooting baskets. So I don't really know how it worked. And they were also wearing these like weird wrestling outfits. Like it only covered their junk, basically. Weird date. I would not be into that. But the guys they were into it. Obviously, men in competition, it's their favorite things. So they're playing the game. I guess Hunter, because Thomas is gone, our villain. So we now have to have a new villain. Guess who decides he's the new villain? Aaron. Aaron is picking all the villains for us. He is picking all the guys that we should hate. Now, the thing about Hunter, like, kind of along with Thomas, I don't think he's that big of a villain. Is he weird? Yeah. Do I think he's going to make it with Katie? Absolutely not. Which, again, is almost to the point of, like, just let him be fucking weird. Like, let him dig his own grave. He will do it. Katie will figure out she does not want to be with him on her own. Like, you don't have to do anything else. But guess what? They probably will. We haven't gotten that quite far yet, but they probably will. But anyway, so they're on this date. They're playing this game. I guess Hunter makes the first tackling move in the game, which then makes everyone else start to tackle each other. So much so that Justin tackles Michael A. Sweet Michael A. who literally, he was already really embarrassed because he's like, I have a dad bod and everyone's around here is like jacked as hell. And so Justin tackles him to the ground, freaking breaks his back almost. Like, it looked bad. Like, Michael A. is a small little guy and Justin is a huge, not small little guy. And definitely, like, damaged him pretty bad. But, he was fine. Everything was fine. But it's just so weird that everyone somehow gains up on Hunter from this. When it's like, but, like, you guys were all tackling each other at that point. Like, hello, Justin just tackled Michael A. They're fine. That's no big deal. But, like, everyone else was kind of doing it. Like, but somehow it leads back to Hunter is aggressive. I don't get it. Whatever. But anyway, so then they go to their evening portion of the date, and Hunter is very confident. He is extremely confident that he is the one for Katie. Katie's not going to like any of the guys. He's going to get the rose, no question in his mind. And to everyone's surprise, actually, he does end up getting the group date rose after not only did Michael basically die on the field out there, he also tells all the guys the story of his wife because it was his wife's birthday the day before. So he was kind of upset and he was crying. Greg was crying. Everyone was pretty much crying, actually. And it was really sweet and really tender. So Michael doesn't get the rose for almost dying and, processing his dead wife's birthday. But Hunter gets it. And I don't know why. Like, even other people should have gotten, like, because Mike P, and, the virgin, our virgin king, him and Katie have their first kiss. Does he get a rose? No. I mean, he does later, but he doesn't get the group date rose. How upsetting. Anyway, doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so everyone's kind of like, why is Katie into Hunter so bad? Like, he's a fucking weirdo. But Hunter's like, yeah, I freaking told you guys. I knew this was going to happen. I had been planning this all day. Anyway, so then we go into the second one-on-one with Andrew S. I love this guy so much. He actually might be one of my favorite contestants of The Bachelor ever. I think he's so sweet. He seems just like a freaking normal person, even though he's like a professional football player. Like, cute, hot, nice, love him. Their date was a little odd. It was like only at night, but they basically like their night portion of the date, they were in the woods surrounded by like twinkly lights, and there's these little envelopes that they like pulled down, and I guess they like had to do whatever the envelope said. So like some was like, make your weirdest animal noise, and then the next one was, what did you learn from your parents' relationship? So it's like, okay, totally different scenarios. But what we do learn from Andrew is that he grew up without a dad, and so he really wants to be there for his future children. Like, that's something that's really important to him. And then later on in their evening portion of the date, he obviously brings up that he is a black man and that Katie is a white woman, and so that is something that they, you know, will deal with if they do end up dating and being engaged and whatever. And I guess his ex-girlfriend, who was a woman that he was very close to proposing to, she was very nervous about having children with him because she didn't want, you know, people to be like, why doesn't your children look like you? Since their children would be mixed. Which is just heartbreaking. Like, that's so sad. Like, that just shouldn't be a thing, but here we are. And so they just had a very good conversation, and I think it was so good that he brought up that, you know, they would be a biracial couple together, and that's something that needs to be discussed. So I think that was great. He's just amazing. Katie also freaking loves him. I mean, every single one-on-one date that she's been with, she's like, I could see my future with them, like with Greg, with Michael, with Andrew. So it's like, girly, you're starting to like a lot of guys. Like, what are we gonna do here? But honestly, oh, and Blake. Oh my gosh, she's literally liked every single person. But to be fair, she does have a lot of connections. Like, she has good chemistry with all of these guys. Like, it is honestly very natural with all of them. So, you know, maybe it will work out. Maybe she'll have 4 husbands. Who knows? But yeah, so that's their date went great. He obviously got the rose. Then we move into the cocktail party. Cocktail party was pretty short. I mean, not a lot happened other than, you know, Hunter, he already has a rose. He laid out like a little, a cute little date like thing for them to do. Like, he put out a telescope to look at the stars and hang out. The guys were very upset by this because, you know, he already had a rose, so he should just like not be talking to Katie, I guess. I don't understand this. Like, of course, time is precious. What are you gonna do? Like, you need to make the most you can with Katie. Does that mean just because you have a rose, you shouldn't talk to her at all? No. Like, that seems kind of stupid. If anything, that makes you seem like cocky almost to the fact of like, well, I got a rose, so I don't need to fucking talk to you anymore because I'm already made it. Like, no, you're still trying to win me over. Like, please pull me aside and we can chat for a little bit. Like, maybe don't have it be an hour-long conversation, which wouldn't happen anyway, but like, you know, like, don't hog up all the time, but at the same time, like, you're still trying to end up with this woman. Like, you need to make some kind of effort. But all the guys are starting to get pissed. Like, Aaron, of course, Aaron. Who else was annoyed? Oh, James, the box guy, who literally looks like he's trying to be Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, Great Gatsby, my God. His hair is so slicked back. I couldn't even imagine putting your hands through that thing. Be like a crunchy, greasy mess. Ew. Hate it. He was pissed. He actually like interrupted Hunter's date, which Hunter did get kind of like aggressive and weird about. So I will say, like, Hunter, don't be aggressive and weird. But I could see both sides. I don't know. But everyone's starting to get really annoyed with Hunter. Obviously, he made it through this rose ceremony. Some people got eliminated. I don't even know who they are. Sorry, guys. You'll be okay. Oh, except for Courtney. Courtney with a Q. Courtney with a Q got eliminated. We didn't really get to see much of him. You know, if you actually watch these episodes, you do see him talk. But, like, you know, in my little recaps, he's just not really important. I'm giving you just the good stuff. But yeah, so basically that was the end of the episode. And then we get a sneak peek into the rest of the season. And oh my God, it looks so freaking dramatic. I'm so excited. Like, it like actually looks dramatic. Like way more dramatic than any other season. So I'm really pumped. I'm pumped to keep making episodes and talking about it. I'm pumped to keep watching it. I'm pumped. So let's brief little overview who my favorite men are. I'm going to say Blake, Andrew S., and Michael A. I think those are my top guys. I really love them. I think they're so sweet. I think they're great. I can't wait to learn more about the guys, though, to be honest. Like, I kind of just, like, keep seeing the same guys talk over and over again. Like, there hasn't been a lot of talking from any of the other guys. And, like my boy Christian, sweet, hot, from Boston Christian, he got eliminated, like, not this last episode, but the last episode, and I was heartbroken because he was so hot, like so freaking hot. I don't understand, but anyway, those are my top contenders. I can't wait again to see what else is going to happen. Like I said, it looks pretty freaking juicy, so I am excited, and I hope you guys are excited to watch along with me, because that's basically what we're doing here. Anyway, I will talk to you guys next time, whenever that may be, in a brand new episode. So talk to you later. Bye.